Hey guys, RJ here, and I'm really excited to bring you guys a Netflix original series that I've been looking forward to since it's been announced, and that is the Santa Clarita Diet starring Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. And dear Lord, this series was amazing. It kept me locked in the entire time. I was busting my gut laughing so many different times. I actually woke my girlfriend up multiple times due to my cackle, and yeah, so I had to give this one a review, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So guys, this is the point where I say, hey, if you haven't seen season 1 of Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix, then please stop watching this review because there are spoilers ahead. So guys, now that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get started at breaking this season 1 down. I have to say that this entire season, all 10 episodes, I had at least one real belly laugh. And I would take that as this show probably being pretty hilarious, okay? So, like, there are multiple instances within this show where I literally thought I was going to pee myself. And maybe it's just because it hits, like, the perfect slapstick comedy plus, like, society relational, like there's a lot of stuff that they bring up in this show that wouldn't be contextual. You know, obviously none of us are going to be zombies anytime soon, but they bring up things that like everyone can relate to and like the arguments that they have. And yeah, if you're a fan of comedy, this show is 100% for you. Okay. It hits so many different notes throughout the show. The pacing is excellent. The dialogue is fantastic. There's so many good one-liners and zingers throughout this, but yeah, you guys probably can figure that out for yourselves after the first 2-3 episodes. I really started getting into the humor and pretty much their situation in general was just so funny. But yeah, I really came around after the third episode. I was a little nervous there, especially after the first one. But as it moved along, I've just fallen in love with these characters, Joel and Sheila and Abby and Eric and Dan, and Mary Ellis from Always Sunny. Like, okay, so yeah, let's talk about actor performances first. Drew Barrymore, who I haven't seen in that much recently. Yeah, she does an amazing job. Like she delivers her lines straight on point. She has like the right amount of sass because that's like supposed to be part of her character now, is since she's following her id as a zombie, as an undead, that she's supposed to be super impulsive. She's supposed to go for every desire that she can, and you can like see the great facial expressions in Drew Barrymore's face throughout this season where she'll hear something, it takes her a second to process, and then she goes, yeah, like okay, and yeah, no, like she plays her part perfectly. I really do like the way that she ends up playing Sheila, this mom that's like super boring at first. And I swear, guys, that first like 20 minutes of the first episode, I was so bored. I was like, there's no way these characters are this bad. And yeah, obviously after episode 1, I was like, okay, I'm all in. But yeah, no, she starts off so boring and like uncharismatic, and yeah, and it ends up playing me really well because I was like, oh my god, the show's gonna be awful, because I wasn't too big a fan of the trailer, but I pushed on through. I was like, it's a Netflix original, it's got to pick up at some point here, and it did, and I'm so happy that I ended up watching the rest of it because this is 10 episodes of 30 minutes of just like complete laughter. This show is not to be taken seriously, so if anyone is taking this show seriously, you are not watching it correctly. But yeah, no, Drew Barrymore does an absolutely amazing job. Timothy Olyphant does an absolutely amazing. His scenes where like he has to react to the things that his wife, and you can just imagine that, like imagine your wife, this happens to her and you can't do anything about it except like you still love her and you do anything for her, and obviously this pushes that those bounds a little bit more than we're used to, but his portrayal of the character Joel is spot on. His reactions to the things his wife says and does throughout this show are absolutely excellent. He delivers all of his lines at great pacing, and yeah, just in general, I love him. I love Timothy Olyphant and pretty much everything he's in. And yeah, he cleans up this character really well. Joel is like the stereotypical dad out in the West, and they're real estate brokers together, and he was the star quarterback in high school. And yeah, I like the way that they end up playing him, where he's kind of slowly losing his mind as they move along through the season, and he starts to unravel a lot. And I mean, rightfully so. Okay, if anyone was put in this position, they would probably end up just like that. So yeah, I really like the way he played that character. And then Liv Houston as Abby. She was perfect. Like, if there was a semblance of a character that wasn't like too whiny as a teenager, but like still kick ass, she would be the definition of that. Okay, like in high school, I would have loved this girl in a heartbeat. She has a mean streak to her, and and obviously, like, they talk about it in the final episodes where it's clearly a reflection of what her mother is doing, and, you know, how she's like transitioned to this more evilish character, and, you know, they've murdered people, her parents are murdering people, and yeah, so yeah, I can't blame her for the rebellion stuff, because I rebelled and I had pretty normal parents. Yeah, so I really like the way she plays that character. Liv Houston does a great job. She's spunky, she's smart, she delivers her lines extremely well. There are a few spots in there where I felt maybe a little bit out of sync, but nothing really to knock on her for. I thought it was maybe more the script than anything. But Skyler, oh my God, as Eric, he's probably my favorite person in this whole show, which maybe a lot of people might be against, because like Drew Barrymore clearly is like way up there, but Eric, he delivers, like, in a comedy show, he somehow delivers comedic relief. And honestly, it's amazing to me the way that he like chimes in on all these conversations where like Abby, you know, like everyone's having a family conversation and he just like kind of steps in like, oh yeah, well, your mom's undead. And then like a little chuckle, and it's perfect. They do great timing with him. He's not ridiculously overused. I think maybe in the future seasons they might like flesh him out a little bit more as a character, but obviously him and Abby as the love interest for the show is fantastic. I actually really like them. Their chemistry on set is really good. You know, at times I thought maybe Drew and Tim were like a little bit off, barely, but I honestly thought Abby and Eric were like spot on the whole time. So let me know in the comments, guys, like, who is your favorite couple in this show? Was it the Abby Eric nonsense where they're trying to like go around and just basically skip school and be stupid, or was it Timothy and Drew, you know, as the parents, as Sheila and Joel? Let me know down below. I gotta know who's the best couple here. So moving on from them, you have a great supporting cast. Mary Ellis in this is like just a raw sexual character, and she does an excellent job of I love the part, you know, like, because okay, well, obviously I already said spoilers, but Dan, when he dies, and then the deputy sheriff comes in, and like she's basically lesing on her, and they like talk about it in that last or the second to last episode, where she's like, yeah, she comes over every day, and I'm like, oh, lordy, Mary Ellis. But yeah, she does an excellent job of providing that like desperate housewife character that they're clearly going for. And then Dan was a great supporting character too, and obviously his deputy that ends up, you know, pretty much banging his wife. But yeah, no, she was great. I don't know, this in general. Gary at the beginning, he was excellent. I kind of thought that was gonna go somewhere, and then they just slapped it, you know, as the first kill. And yeah, I thought he was excellent. You know, he was a huge creeper, but yeah, I thought he was really good. Yeah, in general, the characters for the show make this show. There is no show without the characters. So if we, as the audience, cannot relate to them, there's not going to be anything for us here. It's a comedy through and through, and yeah, there's definitely like points of like drama and, you know, a little bit of like life lessons, but yeah, in general, I mean, this is a comedy, so I'm gonna treat it as such and grade it as such. Let's talk about the visuals. I thought the effects were really good for Drew Barrymore. You know, she's eating people throughout this whole show, and they keep it pretty realistic. It seems like they used a lot of good physical effects with her, but there's not really like that much to do. You know, they're showing empty houses throughout this whole thing, so I feel like that was probably pretty easy to shoot, and Netflix saved that money to put it into the cast. But yeah, so the visuals, you know, were good for what they were. I didn't see anything crazy camera angle wise. You know, there's no like CW turn the camera sideways and everything's all angular. No, it was well shot. It was well choreographed. I really liked the pacing throughout this show. If anything, I kind of wish it was longer just so I could chuckle more. But no, the 10 episodes at 30 minutes apiece, absolutely perfect for this kind of show. They did an excellent job. And then the music for the show, the multiple fight scenes were like Sheila's going for like one of her kills, and yeah, those are all really well done. It's like lighter-ish music, you know, like there's no real suspense in the scene because you know they're the main characters and they have to live on, and it's a comedy. And yeah, no, I really like them. And I forgot to mention the doctor, by the way, the doctor that comes in at the end for the cure. Her and Eric are kind of like flirting, and it's like kind of making Abby jealous. That was excellent. That was perfect too. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this show. This really was this surpassed my expectations in every possible realm. The trailer for this just had me so down. I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to review this show, and then 2 episodes in, I absolutely love it. I was laughing just as hard as I do when I watch Archer or Futurama or something like that, you know, like a gag show where there's like really good, like harsh comedy at times. And Yeah, no, it's a good show. There's really nothing else to say about that. If I have to slap a review score on this, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.5 out of 10. There's definitely like a few episodes where the pacing could have maybe improved a little bit. And maybe they could have lengthened some things, but in general, like there's nothing really nothing to be mad about here. There was so many, like the shovel kill against Dan, and then finding all of the drugs and all the cocaine and all the guns and stuff, and the way they fit all that stuff together, and the way they get rid of his body where she has to eat him in a single night, like they tie together every little bit of this show in a perfect form and fashion. There's a few slow pacing issues, I would say, like in a few episodes, and that's really nitpicking for me. It's really hard for me to give a comedy like a 9.5 out of 10 out of, like, because there's not that much to this show. So it's not really a fault of just being a comedy, because there are really in-depth comedies out there. I just feel like this show, it knows its purpose. It knows what it's doing, what audience it's trying to reach, and it embraces that. It embraces that in the best possible ways, and I enjoy myself throughout this entire season. If you enjoy zombies, I guess you'll like this. If you enjoy comedies, you're gonna like this. Besides that, any Drew Barrymore fans, I don't know, guys. That's 8.5 out of 10. It was a great show. I am definitely gonna go watch it again. I'm gonna watch it with a bunch of friends who didn't believe me that it was funny. They've already seen a few episodes, and I've kind of won them over. But this was an excellent show. I can't recommend it more. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed reviewing and watching this show. I cried in a few episodes. It made me laugh so hard, and I couldn't recommend it more to you guys. So let me know down in the comments. Did you guys like this season as much as I did? Were you guys laughing? Were you guys dying? Because and I meant that a pun intentionally there, okay? But let me know down in the comments, what are your theories for season 2? I'm definitely going to make a season 2 theory video coming up. And subscribe to us here on YouTube. That helps us out a lot. Like this video if you liked it, and follow us on social media to start another conversation there. So until next time, guys, we'll see you soon.